Okay, so I got a lot of incredible feedback from the very first Chit Chat Q&A video that I did a couple of weeks ago, a month ago. And so I thought, let's do it again. I'm going to be answering your questions. We don't need an intro because if you're watching this video, then you know me and we're just gonna dive right in. So question number 1, how close do you live to the beach? I live less than a 20-minute drive to the beach. It's awesome. Number 2, favorite local brewery. Oh man, don't make me choose here, guys. I said on Instagram that Rip Current was one of my favorite breweries, but there's so many good ones in San Diego. I mean, I really enjoy Ballast Point. I really enjoy Mike Hess, Second Chance Brewing, Belching Beaver. There's just a lot. I like a brewery that has a lot of variety. Let's just put it that way. If they have more than just like 5 IPAs, if they have a variety of different types, ales, stouts, anything like that, then I'm game for. Okay, 3, how much money to actually survive in California short term considering moving there? If it's just you and no kids, plan on your rent being around $2,000 per month to live in a 1-bedroom apartment in a decent neighborhood in San Diego. So if walkability and you want outdoor space and those things are important to you, then you're probably going to see rent amounts around $2,000 a month. Number 4, employer didn't give a cost of living pay adjustment. Any tips? This really ticks me off because employers know that inflation rose 7%, especially if you're working for a big corporation that is publicizing record profits and they're not giving you a cost of living adjustment. I would highly suggest first kind of removing any of those extra discretionary spending that you might be doing, and then second, in my experience, your pay gets increased the second you switch jobs. And that's the fastest that you can do. If you stay with a company, and again, in my experience, and it's been a long time since I've worked in a corporate world, but you just make more money when you move companies. Number 5, just waiting for the Jeep Wrangler to come to life. Bro, me too. Me too. We have the money set aside, but we're not spending money on a second car right now because again, inflation is just so high and we don't really need it. Number 6, any tips before buying a vehicle? Save years in advance. So if you just bought a car, go ahead and start your replacement car fund now and start saving for that consistently every single month. Buy your car in cash. Look up the value of the type of vehicle you want on Kelley Blue Book and get a price range in which you're comfortable with. Buy used every single time. Buying used is just the best way to go because when you buy a new car, the second that it leaves the lot, that car depreciates up to 20% in the first year, which means you automatically lost money on that deal. You lose money on cars anyways because it's a depreciating asset, but not as much as you would with a used car. And remember, with car buying, everything can be negotiated. Number 7, do you see yourself staying in San Diego long term? If you asked me that 2 years ago, yes. If you asked me that last year, yes. Today, no. And that's because it is just so expensive now that it makes it hard to really visualize what life could look like long term, knowing just how much mortgages are and the affordability of San Diego is continuing to get out of reach. Number 8, what do you love about San Diego? Oh my gosh, so many things. Obviously the weather. Aside from the weather, the walkability, everything is within a 10-minute drive-ish. The beach is about 15-20 minutes, but everything is so accessible. You can hop on the highway within 10 minutes and be anywhere. So I feel like everything is really close together, so I don't have to drive forever to get to the mall or get to Costco or wherever I want to go. Everything is just so accessible. There's tons of free things to do. Even though San Diego is such a unaffordable and expensive city to live in, there are a lot of free things to do. The beach, hiking, just walking to different points of interest. There are tons of festivals. We just went to the Irish Day parade and festival thing in March. It's so fun. This is what I love about San Diego. Also, what I really love about San Diego is everybody has a really laid back mentality. It's a come as you are and everybody's friendly. And whether you are from the Midwest, East Coast, you're a local, you are gay, straight, bi, like conservative, liberal. I will say this town is mostly liberal, but it's literally like come as you are and it's okay. Everything is accepted, and that's one of the best things that I love about San Diego. Number 9, is it okay to pause my 401k contributions to beef up my emergency fund? Yes, 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 that is completely fine. I think in addition to that, or before you get to that point, is to make sure you minimize any discretionary spending, put it towards that goal, and then also see how you can build in that savings, pick up extra side hustle or extra income opportunities to also boost that emergency fund and get it built up that way. If you've maxed out those options, then you can totally pause the 401k contribution and work on building up your emergency fund, because the emergency fund is so important and crucial to setting yourself up for financial success. Number 10, thoughts on separate finances in marriage. I don't like it because I think it makes things messy and you're constantly figuring out, okay, who's paying for what? You owe me this, I owe you that. When everything is combined, it says not only are you and I in this marriage and that we love each other and that we are going to support each other in our life goals, we're also going to support each other in our financial goals. And I have the transparency and the honesty and the trust in you that we are going to make this work in our finances as well. And so when I married Kyle, I said, I want to do this with you. And he was in 100% agreement, because I didn't want there to be any confusion or any mistrust with separate finances. And maybe that's not the case for you. Maybe I'm not sure where the question is coming from, if you are married and your finances are separated or not. But I find that having one checking account makes everything simple for us to budget and hit our financial goals. Number 11, when do you plan to buy your house? Well, I was planning on buying it like 2 years ago. And then, you know, these houses in San Diego were going for all cash offers, over asking, no contingencies, like waived inspections. And so I just was like, no, dude, I can't do that. I can't do that. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure when this is going to happen. I'm just trying to be as patient as possible. I will tell you though, our lease is good for 1 full year from the time that this video drops. So come back in a year and ask me. Number 12, we have roughly $13,000 in credit card debt. It's in collections from when I was in school. We're low income and living expenses are rising. We've been told our best option to help our credit debt situation is to consolidate. Thoughts? We're in Canada. Okay, I'd really like to know more about your income and expenses situation, because in the grand scheme of things, $13,000 in credit card debt really isn't a high amount. Now, if you had $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 in credit card debt, I would consider some other options, but I think $13K is doable, depending on what your income and expenses are. When it comes to debt consolidation, especially with credit card debts, you just need to be paying attention to, are there any origination fees? Is there like a 0% introductory rate? What's the interest rates? What are the loan repayment terms? And then are you penalized for paying off that consolidation loan quickly? Also, keep in mind that when you consolidate, you are not getting rid of debt. You're just moving the debt. So if that $13K is associated with, 20 to 30% in interest rate, but you have a consolidation loan that cuts it down to 10, and this is your only debt that you have, make it happen. Shave off that interest rate and commit to making that $13K dwindle down to zero as fast as you can. Number 13, is it always a good idea to have your credit limit increased? Why? This really depends. Okay, so your credit limit or your credit history is part of your credit score. The only reason why I care about a credit score is so that I could get favorable terms on mortgages or be able to apply for new credit cards that have favorable terms. But really, terms with credit cards don't matter to me because I pay them off in full back to a zero balance every single month. The only thing I'm really looking at with a new credit card are the rewards and the perks of using one. So if you're really interested in maybe getting that credit score up from like a 650 to a 750, and you've been paying everything on time, you don't have any credit card debt, then yeah, you could ask to have your credit limit increase slightly and help boost that credit score, because they are going to look at the percentage of debt that you have on that credit card versus how much you are actually approved on that credit limit. So yeah, maybe it will help, but honestly, just paying your credit card every single month in full is going to be your best bet, and that's going to factor into your history of on-time payments for your credit score. Number 14, balancing saving enough and enjoying life. Sometimes I feel I can't buy myself anything. It sounds like you just need a mindset reset. So if you are so focused on your financial goal, but you're not giving yourself any room to buy yourself something, or maybe you're just feeling some guilt, take a look at things written down inside of your budget. And I'll give you an example. My goal is to build up a very big down payment. And so I put $1,000 per month of our budget, of our income, towards the down payment. But I still want to have fun, because that down payment and buying a house, as I told you, I don't know when that's going to happen. It can be a year from now, 3 years from now. And so I still need to have fun. So I gave myself a day trip to Disneyland. I think I spent around $200, $250, and I loved it. It was a great reset and a recharge. I had fun. I was spending money on something that really gave me joy, but the priority was still on the down payment, because I still put $1,000 towards that down payment, but then I used only $200 for a little bit of fun money. So I think you need to factor in a little bit of fun money into your budget. Remember that whatever your financial goal is gets the most amount of money, and then factor in less money for that fun and go do it. Go do whatever you want to do to help you just enjoy your life again. Number 15, how does refinancing student loans work? Private and federal. Okay, so when you have multiple federal loans and you want to refinance them into one loan, that's all actually called debt consolidation for your federal student loans. If you're combining federal and private student loans into one, then you are refinancing those student loans into one. The thing right now is, with federal student loans, I would not plan on doing any refinancing or consolidating with those loans until we know the student loan interest and payment waiver is completely done. And right now that's been extended to August of 2022. Who knows? We could see another extension beyond that. So I would not mess with your federal loans at all. Private loans, you could consider refinancing if you have multiple private loans. But again, like I was answering the other question about the $13,000 in credit card debt, when you consolidate or refinance, you only get one shot at that. So once you refinance, you can't keep on doing that again and again. So you got to be sure that this refinancing option is going to help lower your interest rate tremendously, so that you can make big fat payments and pay it off as quickly as possible. So make sure there aren't any penalties for paying off those loans early. Number 16, what's your opinion on crypto? I think it's really cool. I was actually very skeptical about it because it seemed like there were some pathways for people to use crypto illegally and criminally, but I saw this fantastic video right here on YouTube. I will link to that so that you guys can check out this. It's basically a whole in-depth look at what is cryptocurrency, how it became to be, and where it's going. And I love how the history of our currency has literally gone from, I'm going to give you a duck, my duck, for your horse, and that's how we are going to exchange things, to literal gold and silver, to paper bills and coins, and now to credit cards and digital, paying for stuff on your phone, to now digital currency. I think it's really cool. I think we are in the middle of a transition for currency. So who knows? I very well could see cryptocurrency being something that we end up going towards. I don't know. It's all a mystery to me, but I think it's really cool. Number 17, how do I start over? We had some setbacks and I feel like I can't catch up. When I read this, I just want to give you a big hug and say, it's okay. Sometimes we can't foresee these types of setbacks, or you're doing really well and then something hits you and it's like waves that keep on hitting you. And so one of the things that really helps me if I've ever had a setback is to do a journal prompt or a writing activity. And so this is what I'm gonna ask for you to do, is to take out a blank sheet of paper and kind of do a mind map, like a cloud brainstorming of everything you want your life to look like once you hit this goal. I'm assuming with the setbacks, it's involving your debt-free journey. So when you think about life, when you have no payments and you are debt-free, what does that look like for you? What would you be able to do now that you don't have any more payments? How much money would that free up for you to do fill in the blank? And then add in all of those thoughts. Just kind of do like a brain dump on a sheet of paper. Set a timer for like 10 minutes, put on a playlist, and just start writing out your thoughts about what a debt-free life could look like for you. Review that with your accountability partner or your spouse and just take a look at like, okay, we've had some setbacks, but this is what I want. And so I'm gonna jump right back up. I'm gonna dust my shoulders off. I'm gonna stand back up and continue this journey. Number 18, do you guys want to have more kids? Yes, we do. One more. Number 19, up and coming neighborhoods in San Diego. You know, East Village is kind of getting revitalized, so I could see that kind of being up and coming, but there's so many good neighborhoods out here. So I would check that out. Ocean Beach also, it's already a pretty happening spot, but I feel like it's really kind of starting to get cleaned up even more. So I would check those out, East Village and OB. Number 20, where to start investing besides retirement? Where do I put long-term savings, such as for a next house? I'll tell you what I do, and this is what I mentioned in the last video. This is not financial advice, but I do keep any long-term investing inside of a brokerage account in Vanguard. I'm primarily invested in bond index funds, and then I have a portion in some stock index funds as well. I started that account in 2017, so it's been riding out for the past 5 years to save up for my house or any kind of long-term investing that we might have. Just keep in mind, even with brokerage accounts and even with bond index funds, there is a risk that you could lose money when the stock market goes down. Over time, if you keep that in at least 5 years, you're going to see a rate of return, especially if it's majority in bond index funds, you're going to see a rate of return between like 3 and 6%, which is way better than putting in a high yield savings account, which is currently only yielding 0.5%. Number 21 is the San Diego Zoo membership worth it? It's a 2-hour drive for us. Okay, San Diego Zoo membership, totally worth it. So the membership right now for an annual pass is $120. A day pass is around $60. So if you go twice within the year, it's totally worth it. I'm not sure how often you are going to take a 2-hour drive down to the zoo, but if you anticipate going at least 3 times, definitely worth it. Number 22, favorite show, favorite movie. Favorite show, oh my gosh, there's so many good ones. The one that I can watch over and over and over again is How I Met Your Mother. That's the one Kyle and I really like bonded on first time. I could watch The Office over and over. We just got done watching Ted Lasso and we're probably gonna rewatch that one again. So some of those are my favorite shows. Also Sex and the City, I was like diehard fan. Favorite movie, this is so tough. Are we talking Disney? We talking rom-com? Just in general, I think one of the classics is Forrest Gump. That's one that I could watch over and over again. Favorite movie? Guardians of the Galaxy is always a good one. I put that one on a lot. Toy Story is a good one. I have so many favorite movies. It's hard to pick just one. 23, I loved your Las Vegas budget travel tips video. Thank you so much. That one is an oldie, but man, that one went viral. Any more vacation videos on the horizon? No. I wish. I'm not taking any vacations. I have a baby now, so I don't know, maybe. We're talking about doing some trips. We might be going, hopefully going to Europe later this year. Kyle does a big work conference annually, and now with COVID restrictions kind of dying down, we might be able to do that. So maybe. 24, I am a new teacher. Advice on dealing with rude comments about teachers being poor. Yikes. WTF, man. Like, what is up with, why would somebody say that to you? When I think about jobs and income levels, I just think about, I want to do what I love and the money will follow. So you could, respond back and say, I'm doing what I love and the money will follow. And you have to truly believe that, because if you are in a position, in a job that you truly love, you're going to see your income rise to the occasion, because you are going to be living your purpose, your calling. And so that's what I would say to those rude comments. 25, how old is your baby now? She is just over a year old. 1 year and 2 months, 14 months. I hate when people are like, oh, my kid is like 38 months old. I'm like, please just tell me a year. I can't do that math. So she's just over a year old. Number 26, can we convert an active 401k into a Roth IRA? Yes, you can, but you will owe income taxes when you do that conversion. What would be easier for you to do and avoid that tax payment is if you take your 401k and transfer it and roll over into a traditional IRA, because those are taxed the same way. So then there wouldn't be any taxes that you owe on that amount. If your 401k has a massive amount of money in it currently, I would strongly suggest rolling it over into a traditional IRA instead of the Roth, and then just open up a brand new Roth on the side. Number 27, how do you stay positive about the future despite the crazy inflation? LA County girl here. Girl, San Diego County girl here. I totally get it. Kyle gets so frustrated and he'll come home and he'll say like, babe, how are we expected to keep up? Like, what is going on? Our generation is getting hit with left, right, and center, all these different things that are happening in the world that we are having to shoulder and trying to figure out. All I can say is that eventually things are going to come back down, and we have to be patient and remember the things that really bring us joy in the present moment. So even though things are going up and I'm about to experience a $90 per month increase in my rent, I still live in a city that I love, and I still can hang out with my friends. I can still walk my daughter to the park. I can still go to the zoo with my membership pass. I can do all of these things, and I really just want to. Here's the thing. This is a piece of advice that I got a long time ago when I was starting my entrepreneurship journey. All waves eventually hit the shore. It's up to you to catch a wave and ride it for as long as you can. But remember, that wave is eventually going to crash and it's going to land on the beach and it'll be over with. So it's up to you to kind of keep your eye on the horizon and look for your next wave. 28, help finding cheap rent. Oh, girl. First of all, where do you live? And what's cheap to you? What's cheap to me may not be cheap to you. You're just gonna have to continue to research online in your desired locations and really get some price points out, your wish list of things that you want for your rental house or apartment, and figure it out from there. I wish I had a more detailed, specific answer for you, but this question is hard for me because I want to know more. 29, how much do y'all spend on groceries these days? It's a lot. Like last month, I think it was like $800, but keep in mind, we also put like toiletries and diapers and wipes all on that same budget category. So I'm not really sure. I try to keep a $600 monthly budget, but it's definitely gone over in the last month. 30, planning on moving to San Diego, favorite areas to live. So many different areas. Okay. If I had to pick my favorites, then I would definitely say like Hillcrest, North Park, downtown is also so much fun. If you want beachy though, maybe consider doing like OB. Mission Beach would also be really cool, but keep in mind, lots of tourists come around. So if that's not your jam, I would stay out of kind of those touristy areas. And lastly, number 31, what's your opinion on Get Upside and changed financial apps? Okay, so I had to look this up before I answered your question because I wasn't real familiar with them, but Get Upside, I like the concept. I would be willing to, test this out for you if this is something that you are interested in, because it seems like you can double dip on the rewards. So it says claim your offer. Step 2, pay as usual. Step 3, check in. Number 4, earn cash back. So it seems like you could double dip. You check in and say, hey, I just purchased from this retailer. you'll get the rewards and upside. And if you're using a credit card, then you'd also get that reward as well on like a cashback or points on your credit card. So I don't know, I'd be willing to test that one out. The Changed app, I would pass on this. I don't know. This seems kind of like the lazy way of trying to pay off your student loans. So the way that my understanding, the way that Changed works is they do roundup to help you put towards your student loan. So all of that, if you go to, they give this example here, if you spend $2.45 on your next cup of coffee, which what? No. Starbucks is like $5. Anyway, you just put 55 cents towards your student loan to round up, and then it eats away at your debt without you even noticing. Okay, maybe, but the catch is $3 per month. That's $36 that you could just do, and then already just kind of roll in your extra payment for your student loans in your budget. I don't know. I would pass on Changed. I would test out Get Upside. I hope that was fun for you. I hope you were able to watch this while you were getting ready or doing chores or, you know, just getting ready for the day. I have so much fun doing these videos. Are you still enjoying them? Give this one a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, come on now. Hit that red subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.